Para business leaders dan intellectual community, kita lanjutkan dalam segmen ketiga diskusi kita hari ini, yaitu Are you having trouble keeping your operations focused? Kita berbicara tentang operation, ya. Dan kita masih bersama dengan Ahmeer Udin. Beliau adalah Operation Director dari Allianz Indonesia. Kita sedang berbicara tentang sampai di mana kita pool some activities, sampai di mana kita let it specialized. Karena kalau kita kebanyakan full, effectiveness-nya berkurang karena kurang precision. Kalau kita kebanyakan specialization, cost akan duplicates juga. Ya, jadi how to balance between these two things. Ya. Dan dari audience, Mas, ada yang ingin bertanya? Ibu Nila dari United Tractors, silakan.
I would like to questions when we talk about the specialization or the pool or share of services. I think one of the question or the challenge that is we need to face is how we are really managing the boundaries of each silo organization or functionals, and also how you actually managing the interaction, because all these organizations or these functions have its own objectives and also the performance that need to be achieved. And then when we talk about the operational excellence also, as you also mentioned before, we cannot also only talk about the efficiency. Sometimes operational excellence means only efficiency, but at some point we need to have a balance between the efficiency and effective actually. So maybe you can share how you really do it in the organization, in the Allianz, so that we can have some of the perspective on that.
Sure. Okay, thanks a lot, Ibu Nila. So I would like to wrap questions, Ibu Nila, in a very sharp question for you. Is that what is your objective of effectiveness? What is your objective of efficiency? And after you did all these things, what improvement did you get in terms of efficiency, in terms of effectiveness?
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Nila and Dr. Bayu. I'll touch the boundaries section first. Now, of course, with these different areas, it's important, very important, that their respective boundaries should be clearly defined. Every area must know what their respective boundaries are. But at the same time, the way we have to set it up is that there must be certain areas where there are what we call shared or central functions, which can transcend or cross these boundaries, whether it's in terms of asset allocation or resources. And I think this must be allowed, because otherwise you do tend to have a lot more duplication, a lot more cost built into your separate segments. And I think that's very important. So for example, the way we do it in Allianz is that, yes, we have certain clear boundaries identified in our operational, even within our operational areas, but we have central teams which are supporting these, and the function of these teams is to get the knowledge across between the different segments of the organization, in terms of communication, which is absolutely critical, and in terms of sharing, as I mentioned before, the successes and the failures that have been experienced in other part of the organization. And I think that must always be there, whether it's Six Sigma process or operational excellence, whatever you want to call it. Initially, what we did in Allianz is we set it up as a central team, because that team could then do it in both parts.
It could mean as well that previously you have two specialized teams, two teams, now becomes three. A, B, and the combination.
Okay.
Yeah, as a combination unit. I mean, whatever it is,
can happen.
You can do it as long as you measure it that you are doing right. So my question is, what were your measurement of effectiveness, and how is the effectiveness after you did all this?
Okay.
And what are your measurement of efficiency? And what was the result after you did all this?
That's right. Okay. Can I share an example? Okay. We of course are in the business of insurance, so inevitably we have to pay claims. Right. And as an organization, just one department or one area of our organization receives more than 40,000 claims a month. Okay. One of the things we did, we found that we need to manage the productivity of this unit, okay, because that of course determines efficiencies, okay. And so what we said, we want to improve the efficiency, we want a higher level of productivity, and that's the measure we put in place. And we designed with a lot of analysis and with system set up that we will create variable compensation for our staff in this unit. So we will pay you according to your productivity, okay. And of course our immediate response after doing the analysis was productivity went up almost 300%, okay, great. Efficiency created, same number of people being able to process twice the number of claims in half the amount of time, okay, so 300-400% increase in productivity. But then suddenly we found that the claims is going up. Okay, what was happening obviously was everyone was just paying everything, okay, without actually monitoring it closely, and this is where the effectiveness element came in, okay. So effectiveness, what we call, is the quality of the work was being sacrificed to achieve the productivity or the efficiency, okay. So of course we had to go back and rethink how do we now manage the effectiveness of the work as well, and we were able to fine-tune our model internally, which then allowed us to measure the quality at the same time and built in an automatic check, and that of course it ended up reducing the efficiency gain that we had seen earlier, but it was still 200% more than what we were handling before. So how do we do it? I think one of our key ways, one of our key messages and our aims in Allianz is that, as you know, in most organizations, if you're in sales, you can earn more or less based on how much you work, how much sales you do. In operations, in most companies, you get the same salary whether you do a lot of work or less work at the end of the day. But by allowing our operations people to earn on a variable basis, while keeping in mind the effectiveness or the quality aspect, we were able to improve both sides of the equation. And it's just one example that I can share.
Maybe if we can put the effectiveness and efficiency in terms of these specialized and combined teams, is that, for example, effectiveness, you can measure whether how is the rate of cross-selling between general insurance and life insurance, because of the sharing of database of the customers, that has been increased after the unification, after the
and we've already experienced that.
And maybe on the efficiency side, easily you can measure what was the cost of these two teams, the same headcounts previously, and then what was the cost of doing this operation with the same effectiveness currently.
Absolutely.
What was the
experience was, of course, on the cross-selling side, we have increased our what we call cross-selling ratios, and we do measure these not only across our sales teams but also across our business lines. So whereas before we had one customer maybe buying one or two products from us, today we have many customers who are buying 3, 4 and more products, all from Allianz, because we are now giving them a solution with life insurance and general insurance that they can get all their insurance needs from one.
What did you achieve?
We achieved a significant, I would say at least a 25% increase in cross-selling in only the first year, and this we are still experiencing these gains as we're building the efficiencies going forward.
Efficiency is going well.
On the efficiency side, as I mentioned, just from that one area, we found that our overtime cost went down, our part-timers or excess, more importantly our customer dissatisfaction went down, because we were able to improve our productivity while at the same time maintaining quality, and we found that our customer satisfaction levels were much higher, which is difficult to put a value on. However, our overtime costs reduced by almost 70-80%, because we were now achieving much more during office hours, during working hours, from the same team of people with the same headcount. And more importantly, as we have grown, we have not had to increase as traditionally it used to be, as the business grows, bring more staff in, do more, that has not been necessary anymore, because our team size has stayed almost static, whereas our business has grown by almost, I would say, 100% over the last 2 or 3 years.
So in terms of productivity per head, how many percent increase?
As I said, almost 300% increase,
300%
in that one area alone.
All right, all right.
Yes.
Okay, we have to have again a little break. I mean, so business leaders and intellectual business community, we have to have a little break before we go to the final segment of our discussion. And for you who wants to participate in these discussions, please SMS to 0896-788. You can have your opinion, you can raise your questions, or you can say anything about this program or this topic. We have a little break.